Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad Izzuddin Irfan bin Ahmad Syamsul. My number metric is 1191426. First of all, I want to say thank you to Dr. Mashita binti Sulaiman, who is the lecturer of subject methodology of Islamic studies. Alright, my research topic is the role and contribution of HAMKA in dakwah in Southeast Asia. To be a true Muslim, it is necessary to adhere to the Quran and the Sunnah. Okay. As a Muslim, we must you must also invite others to do good, or in other words, to do dakwah. Okay. So with that, there is a great person, Haji Abdul Malik bin Abdul Karim Abdullah, or his famous title HAMKA. Okay. HAMKA is not only known as a scholar or figure at the rank national in Indonesia, even as an international figure, especially in Malaysia and Singapore. Okay. Haji Abdul Malik Karim Amrullah, or better known as HAMKA, was born on 17 February 1908. Okay. In the Hijri calendar, it was 13 Muharram 1362 Al-Hijrah in Minangkabau. Okay. His father was Sheikh Abdul Karim bin Abdullah, known as Haji Rasul, was a pioneer of the Islam movement, which is tajdid in Minangkabau on his return from Mecca in 1906. Okay. He got the nickname Buya, which is taken from the Arabic word Abi or Abuya, okay, which means father and someone highly respected. HAMKA is the head of the Indonesian Ulama Council, one of the largest Islamic religious organizations in Indonesia beside Nahdlatul Ulama and Muhammadiyah. In this research, I will tell the role of HAMKA and its contribution in Southeast Asia. Right. Research background. HAMKA is a scholar and a very great figure in conveying his message. He was also an outspoken person in presenting his arguments. Right. Buya HAMKA is very famous, and his name is not unfamiliar to all scientists and society to this day. Which is he's so famous lah. He's very famous. During HAMKA's times, he was very active in preaching, politics, writing, and teaching. Every work he produced is great and has its own charm. His knowledge can no longer be denied for his greatness in the field he is involved in, based on the book Modern Sufism, written by HAMKA himself. Okay. He is the book Modern Sufism in English, but in Melayu, in bahasa Malay, Modern Sufism. Okay. He is a scholar and figure who is very strong and brave when faced with the challenges he faced. Okay. This study will show the story of HAMKA in terms of his life, his role, and also his contribution in dakwah Southeast Asia. Problem statement. Not everyone has the awareness in doing good. To gain that awareness, one has to play a role in remembering it. The same goes for dakwah. Not everyone will be interested in preaching and being preached, but with the wisdom of HAMKA given by Allah, dakwah can be done in various forms and more creatively. Many of his beneficial contributions have been donated for the sake of others. HAMKA is a figure who is very persistent and diligent in reading and researching, so it is not surprising that his knowledge is very great and solid. He excelled in philosophy, literature, history, sociology, and politics. With this, he is highly respected by others. Biography of HAMKA. HAMKA was born on 17 February 1908 in the Hijri calendar. It was 13 Muharram 13 and 62 Hijrah in Minangkabau, West Sumatra. As the eldest of 7 siblings, he was raised in a devout Muslim family. His father was Abdul Karim Amrullah, an Islamic clerical reformer in Minangkabau and a reformist figure in Indonesia known as Haji Rasul, while his mother, Siti Syafiah, comes from artists of Minangkabau descent. The father of Abdul Karim, the grandfather of HAMKA, namely Muhammad Amrullah, was known as a follower of the ulama of Jemaah Naqshbandiyah. As a child, HAMKA received his primary education at Maninjau Primary School up to 2nd grade. After that, HAMKA and his father migrated to Padang Panjang, located in West Sumatra. While there, he had the opportunity to gain knowledge at a religious school founded by his own father, Sumatra Tawalib, and at the time, HAMKA was only 10 years old. HAMKA learned a lot about religion from his own father. Apart from receiving formal education, HAMKA also did not miss the opportunity to gain knowledge through the non-formal education system, such as studying religious knowledge in mosques, surahs, and studying with some scholars at that time. Among the famous scholars at that time were Sheikh Ibrahim Musa, Sheikh Ahmad Rashid, and R.M. Surujo Pranoto, and Ki Bagus Hadikusumo. As early as 16 years old, he migrated to Yogyakarta to meet with great religious figures. HAMKA also made the pilgrimage to Mecca and had the opportunity to study there with the scholar. Scope of the study. In chapter 3, the study shows the role of HAMKA in the world of Da'wah in Southeast Asia. We can see HAMKA doing its role well. Chapter 4 focused on his contribution to Muslims in Southeast Asia. He made many contributions that made him a respected person in the community. The next is chapter 5, which is about the challenges that HAMKA went through when he preached. In this chapter, we can find out how thick the man called Buya HAMKA is in his life. The role of HAMKA in Da'wah in Southeast Asia. HAMKA is a scholar famous for his knowledge. Every scholar has the same role, which is to help other Muslims in getting closer to Allah. HAMKA reminded the Muslim community through his writing firmly. He stated that the sign that the soul is empty of faith and the heart is broken despite professing to be a believer is our refusal and negligence to do good deeds. HAMKA has been elected General Chairman of the Indonesia Ulama Council. He has carried out his duties as General Chairman well, such as strengthened religion in a way that explained the national philosophy of Pancasila to ensure national resilience, maintaining harmony between religions in Indonesia. Contribution of HAMKA in Da'wah in Southeast Asia. HAMKA has involved himself to be an educator. He was once appointed as a religious teacher at Perkebunan Tebing Tinggi and in Padang Panjang. HAMKA has also been offered to be a lecturer at the Islamic University, Jakarta, and the Muhammadiyah University. He was also given the trust to determine the pattern of education and the direction of the education of Indonesian children. HAMKA holds many high positions in the education sector. HAMKA is also very great in subject of history, although he has no specific training for the subject of history. With his expertise and research potential, has fulfilled the discipline of history. His writings in history have been used as a source of reference. Based on HAMKA's writing entitled Berbicara Tentang Perempuan, HAMKA has raised the dignity of a woman. When HAMKA had the post of General Chairman of the Indonesian Council, HAMKA has instilled respect for each other under his leadership. HAMKA's scholarly writing is more about life and way of thinking. HAMKA's scholarly writing use high language and there is an implicit message, but the readers is still able to understand it. His scholarly writing has also influenced the interest of his readers with his writing style and maturity of idea. Challenges faced by HAMKA in dakwah in Southeast Asia. After independence, HAMKA was chosen to be a leader of the Center of Muhammadiyah and was also known as a Masyumi. Masyumi was banned by Sukarno. This due to the action of Masyumi, who wants to uphold Islamic law and does not want to cooperate with the Indonesia Community Party. HAMKA was arrested at his home and taken to the Sukabumi Detention Center. He was arrested for being accused of being a traitor to the country and the nation during the formation of Malaysia. HAMKA was interrogated non-stop, no matter day or night, for 15 days in a row. He can only rest during meals and prayers. Even when he was asleep, they startled him to continue the investigation. The devil's whisper told him to commit suicide by squeezing his veins, but HAMKA managed to fight the whisper with God's permission. Allah's permission. HAMKA has been accused of stealing a foreign work written by Alfonso K. Written entitled "The Sinking of Van der Wijk Ship", or in bahasa Malay, tenggelamnya kapal Van der Wijk, while the work is original from HAMKA. Conclusion. In conclusion, this study clearly highlights the prominence of HAMKA as a Southeast Asian scholar in preaching. HAMKA has played his role as a figurehead. Through HAMKA's role, we can see his seriousness in preaching. HAMKA's contribution in the world of da'wah has elevated him as a respected scholar and figure. HAMKA's prominence is also seen in his role and contribution in the world of da'wah in Southeast Asia. May all of us and future generations be able to emulate him in preaching and fighting for the rights of Muslims. Inshallah. Alright, that's all from me. Thank you.